Eastern Illinois University appoints an interim athletic director. This comes after last month's announcement Barbara Burke would be leaving the school to take a job at Tulane. University President William Perry says current Vice President for Student Affairs Dr. Dan Nadler will serve as interim athletic director until the university can find a permanent replacement. Vice President for University Advancement Bill Martin is head of the search for new athletic director. Their current goal is to find a replacement by August 1st. And as Dr. Dan Nadler prepares for a new position, the Lakeland softball team is preparing for regional action. Although the Lady Lakers season finished Monday against Kaskaskia College where they split the series, they were still able to finish their season with a whopping 48-10 record, which gives them home field advantage for the first round of regional play. Their first game is against Southeastern College, and even though they haven't lost to Southeastern all year, Lakeland head softball coach Nick Nelson says they will not be overlooking them.
Every game for us is the same. We don't take anybody lightly. Anybody in our conference can beat anybody at any time. So for us, although the regional championship is our ultimate goal, we don't look at anybody past the next game. And right now it's Southeastern, and we'll attack them as hard as anybody, no matter how good or not good they are.
Now the Lady Lakers have outscored Southeastern by a total of 51-10 in their 4 wins against them this season. And first round action for the region tournament begins tomorrow at 2, and Sports Watch plans to be at that game. And while that softball team braces for a big tournament, this MLB pitcher is looking to stay undefeated this season. Lance Lynn took the mound as the St. Louis Cardinals took on the New York Mets earlier this afternoon. St. Louis was leading 1-0 in the 5th until a solo home run here by Chris Young tied the game up. And they secured the game when David Murphy hit a ball out to shallow center field, but John Jay couldn't make that diving catch. The Mets would go on to score 2 more after that. New York went on to win 4-1 and handed Lance Lynn his first loss of the season. And moving on to the next game of the day, the Chicago Cubs took on the Arizona Diamondbacks earlier to try for their first series win of the season. Almost all of Chicago's action came in the bottom of the first when Anthony Rizzo reached on an error that scored Emilio Bonifacio, tying the game at 1. There would be a close play at the plate, but he's too speedy. He gets in with the run. But the rest of the game would go in the Diamondbacks' favor. Here in the 8th, they tacked on a few more runs from some big hits to take a lead 5-1. Anthony Rizzo does it again for the Cubs with the solo shot in the final innings, but it wasn't enough as the Arizona Diamondbacks took the win 5-2. And the Chicago Blackhawks got a huge win to tie up the first round of the NHL playoffs, but let's take a look at just how they came away with that W. After the Hawks took an early 2-0 lead, the St. Louis Blues battled back by tying the game with 3 seconds left in the second period, and they stayed hot. And here in the third, Vladimir Tarasenko slaps this puck silly to give St. Louis the lead. Chicago, they wouldn't quit though. Brian Bickle gets an impressive goal here by redirecting the puck into the Blues goal. And guess what? We're headed to overtime. Patrick Kane comes up and he's just doing what he does best. He pulls off some fancy moves on a breakaway, and of course, he scores the game winner. Hawks get the 4-3 win and tie the series at 2 games apiece. The playoff series resumes Friday in St. Louis. And just in case you didn't know, Jonathan Toews is one of 3 finalists for the Frank Selke Trophy, which is given to the league's top defensive forward. The winner is announced June 24th. Well, that's all for sports. Braden, Savannah, back to you at the desk.